So the most recent news on Andrew Tate is that he had appealed to be released from not prison, but jail, basically. And of course, his appeal got denied because he's a flight risk. But it wasn't only him, it was also his brother and two other women that were also arrested with him in conjunction with the charges of trafficking women, among other things. And of course, his lawyer has spoken about how, they're not really giving him due process, etc. And from what I have read, they ended up impounding, I think it was like 15 or 13 of his automobiles. They even impounded his property to use the funds. Basically, they're going to sell his stuff so that they can fund the investigation. Now, of course, everybody knows this is a level of injustice, but this is what happens. This is why I said before that if you're not willing to utilize force and your opponent that you supposedly are fighting against then you've already lost. And so while, yes, Andrew Tate might, he's got money, etc., and he can afford to buy those vehicles and buy that property all over again, the most valuable thing that he can't buy is his freedom, which was taken from him. And if you're not even willing to fight for your freedom, then you've already lost. And for men like Andrew Tate, who could have just stayed quiet and lived a good life with the money that he had earned and traveled and had women and children, etc., but that wasn't enough. He wanted fame. He wanted glory, which is really what he wanted. He wanted the glory to be known worldwide. And that came with a price he wasn't ready to pay. And so he ended up losing his freedom. How long that will be, we don't know. Whether they'll just make the charges stick because he's in a corrupt country and he didn't play the game right. In my opinion, if he gets out, it'll just be an act of humiliation. They'll humiliate him enough so that he knows not to do it again. And if he doesn't come out, it's because he stood his ground, and good for him. But he should have done that from the very beginning. Should have been doing that from the very beginning, like many men. Many men, unfortunately, after the fact, want to stand their ground when it's too late. And it is what it is. But this is a good example for many men. Excuse me, I got something in my eye. This is a good example for many men. That if you're going to, it was like that, there was like that clip from the original Top Gun where the commander says, son, your mouth is writing checks your body can't cash. And that's exactly what happened to Andrew Tate. He talked a lot of talk. And like the Bible says that in the abundance of words, there is sin not too far behind. And it wasn't like this man led a spotless and blemishless life. He had a very sketchy past with what he did with women, selling women on the internet, which is terrible for both the women and for the men. The impact that it has on men of watching pornography online or in general is a terrible effect on many men. It lowers your libido, it's addicting, interferes with your ability to actually have real relationships. But this is how he made the bulk of his wealth. On top of that, between his, quote unquote, hustlers university, which is just a scam. He was able to leverage the internet and the algorithms via, the MLM, a multi-level marketing scam. So this is not somebody who was a good example, a strong example of a masculine man. He was not, as they say, the best of us. And unfortunately, that's what happens. When you have a sketchy past, they can reach back into your past and make you bend the knee. And this is what happened. I was actually watching not too long ago. There was like that clip for those of you that watched Dragon Ball Z. And when Goku was fighting Jiren and he went blue, he went Kaioken times 20, and it didn't work. He basically gave it his all. And he was bent over on his hands and knees, and Jiren steps on him as an act of humiliation. And that's basically what this is. And it's what the system does to men. that when you're not willing to give it your all, and when you can't match the strength of your opponent will humiliate you. I just got one more point I'm going to talk about this, talking about male humiliation. Most recently, what was that girl's name? Oh, I just remembered her. I just forgot her name. Was it Gabby Union? The chick that's married to Dwayne Wade, right? She just recently came out and basically humiliated her ex-husband by saying, because she was the one who was paying the bulk of the bills, that she felt entitled to cheat on her husband. And of course, you saw she took that same mentality into her new relationship, where she not only humiliates Dwayne Wade, but she also humiliates his children. And I talked about this in my other video, that when women don't respect you, they'll shit test you. And when they keep on shit testing you, they will shit test you to the point of humiliation. And that's what you see with a lot of these emasculated men. They're unwilling to fight back. And it's not because women are stronger than men. Women are inferior to men. It's because men are afraid of the outcome of when those women call other men. And they're afraid to pay the price of the utilization of force, because it may end in injury, a loss of life, imprisonment, etc. But you serve as an example to the system. And this is why one of the biggest forms of humiliation for men is the child support system. That when your children grow up and they wonder, why can't I see daddy? It's because these men over here won't let me see you. And so they see you year after year, paycheck after paycheck, alimony check, child support check after check, being humiliated. And that's the example that they have set for them, that their father is afraid to fight for their freedom and to fight for his own freedom. Whereas even if a man would have lost his life, not willing to submit, at the very least, even though his son would have grown up without him, his children would have remembered that my father gave it all. He was willing to put his life on the line for what he believed in and to be free. That is a lasting impression. That is why many of us look to many people, like, for example, Jesus. He gave his life, and billions of people know his name, and many of them try their best to follow him. Why? Because the impact that he had on those who would come after him. And that is the value that a man has. That is the value that a man can leave behind. That is real legacy. Anyway, I'm back from the gym. I got work tonight, so I'm going to get ready. Hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to leave your comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll check you next time.